Welcome back. This is the Strategizer game, and we're gonna be talking again about the Runewars. I'm gonna cover in this video a few aspects of the game, my impressions of the box, and how much is required for us to play with a full game. So in the background, you'll see that I have one box set up. I have already glued the miniatures with a couple friends of mine, and I should next start thinking of painting, but this is future. So let's just start about the game. The game is set in one of the books, the Learn to Play book, in a simplified way. So to begin with, it requests a 3x3 table, which is a lot smaller than the 3x6 table required for you to play the full game, the size of the tournament, or 200 points. So this is not really a 3x3, but it's just, I'm not going to be playing, it's just for background purposes. So how do you play this game? The main thing for the game is this dial. So every unit will have this dial little board of its own with two little wheels. So the actions are made into two by you setting up, without showing the opponent, the two different wheels. A few basics. The numbers you see here, like 3 for example, will be my initiative if I select and when I perform this move action. So all those here, this, and this, would be move actions. So by moving with the smaller ruler, I would have initiative of 3 with this unit. If I go with 2, initiative of 4, and so forth. The other dial will show what you can do, but the key thing here is you have to match the colors. So any one of those blue actions will have to match one of those blue or the white. The white can be used with any colors. So if, for instance, I had this order here, the only thing I would be able to do would be select this to go with. So you have a nice number of options on what to do based on the situation. Like I said, so this one, for example, you can see by the design here, is for the horseman. So every one of them will be a little bit different, so you'll be able to check what to do. So you perform your action, whatever the action will be. So for this, for example, with an initiative 7, I can go 4 and I can go 2 again by combining those two wheels. So this is the equivalent probably to a horse charge. Although this is just a move action, there is no combat. There are some cards that come with the game that will explain you what each of those actions will be. So we're just talking about the march action. The other actions would be shift, so the unit can move this way, forward or backward. Reform, so you can rotate the unit. Melee attack, so this is actually when you want to finish your when you do a melee attack. Ranged attack, when it's the case. Rally. Rally will give you a inspiration token. Those tokens are important because they remove some sort of penalties you may get by doing some activities or by having the enemy do that with you. So this is important. And this is an activation of a upgrade card, which is not part of what you see in the basic scenario. The second wheel, which is called modifiers, and you can do the charge, turn, and these other options. So basically what happens here is someone has to call 1, 2, and as you're, let's say I pick this, so I set this, and I have to do this for every one of the units. My opponent will have to do the same thing for all of his units. Once everyone is set, one of the two will say 1. And everyone who has initiative 1, in my case here for this unit I have initiative of 4. So anyone who has 1 would do whatever they have to do first. And 2, and 3, and 4, etc. So once they perform the action, use some of the rulers that I have showed you in the unbox video to move the miniatures if that's the case. Shooting will also require another one of those rulers that I showed you last time. It is a rather quick game. So when we finally, in the gameplay that I had with my friends, when we finally crash, things got really nasty. So killing a number of units is almost expected. So the game goes a lot faster than usually war games will do, which I appreciate very much. So not only this is an easy game in order to place on the table, we didn't really invest too much time just to assemble those units. Granted, they're not painted, there's a lot of things to do with them, but they could be technically ready for a battle. Now, the others, when you see a unit card, so this is the card that tells the special abilities of the unit. So if I'm rolling for attack, and when I attack with this unit, I have 2 red dice and 1 blue dice, I'm sorry. If I get 2 of those symbols, I will be able to receive 1 inspiration token, which is the same thing I said before, it's important for us. But what I wanted to cover here is the second part, when we turn it. So with the 1 box that we have here, we were able to build 4 units. And they will cost us 34 points. And then can receive those upgrades. It works very similar to X-Wing in a manner. So I'm saying X-Wing because you use cards to perform those upgrades, and those upgrades will have the costs of their own. So if we apply those 3 types of upgrades, this unit will end up costing more than 34 points. The difference between this and X-Wing is in X-Wing you actually have a number of upgrades you can do, and it doesn't really matter how many pieces you have per unit, because of course every unit is 1 ship. The interesting thing is, you see here, for 2 pieces, 2 cavalry pieces, it costs you 20. For 4, 34. For 6, 46. And for 9, 68. So the more units you have, the smaller the unit cost is going to be. Every single unit will show this kind of behavior. So when you go, for example, for the spearman, same thing. Bear in mind, each one of those is not 1 spearman, but it's one of those 4-man trays. The same thing here with the cavalry. We're not talking about 4 horsemen. We're talking about, in the second example, we're not talking about 4 horsemen. We're talking about actually 8 horsemen. There's 2 per base. 1, 2, 1, 2. So this is actually the representation of this 2 here, 20 points. So when you add the number of points without upgrades that you have inside of a box, you get to some 70, around 70 points per army. So this army here with no upgrades will cost you 70 points. Meaning if a game is expected to be 200 points, you have to have the equivalent to more than twice. Meaning if you buy 2 boxes, just like I did, you still won't be able to buy a full game. So you may have to either buy more than 2 boxes or wait for the upgrades that are certainly coming. So this is for you to understand the level of commitment you have to have. So this box is $100. If you buy in the regular price, you can probably find it for $85, depending where you buy it. So you're probably going to commit some $250 to $300 to be able to have one army tournament ready. As a war gamer, and I have played several other games, I would say it's not too bad, but and to tell you the truth, even with what you have in the box, there's not tournament ready, you do have a fun game. Of course, there's probably because I didn't have access to everything else, there's probably not much flexibility because you have what you have. But it's very fun, and the fact that you have, again, like I mentioned before, cavalry, range attacks, heroes, monsters, larger bases, it does give you a very nice flavor of the game. Me and my friends enjoyed playing the game a lot. Granted, we don't know all the details. I'm still learning about the nomenclature, the techniques, how to play with the magic that adds to dice, but it seems that it's a very nice and very well-rounded game. Anyway, I wanted to give you those 2 cents. As I progress and learn more and have more experience with the game, I'll keep showing you what I learned, and I hope you like it. If you have any questions, please feel free to make them. I will respond to the best of my abilities. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.